Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Moment of Gratefulness with me. Really glad that you're here. Today's Moment of Gratefulness is creation. And now, not in a biblical sense, although, trust me, definitely grateful for that, but that's for another time. But really just for what we're able to create. And it seems to come up quite a bit, especially in what I do. One of the guys that I really like listening to, Brendan Burchard, again, if you haven't checked out any of his stuff, definitely go to YouTube, check some of his stuff out. Great material. But he talks about energy in particular, and obviously this can be taken with a lot of different things as we're about to discuss, but he says a power plant doesn't have energy, it creates energy. So when you think about that and you think about how that applies to our lives and what that means, energy obviously is one in particular. Like there are things, like literally things that we can do that will create energy. We don't just have it. We have to do something for it. Whether that's from the foods that we eat, which is a huge part of it, all the way to just thoughts that we have. Like literally things that we think about will create energy or take it away. All right. And then you move into a huge one, which I know this is a term that, some people like, some people don't, whatever the case is, you know what I mean, regardless of the word, but motivation. All right. Now there's plenty of times, especially in what I do, where you come across people that are really wanting to make a change. They're ready to make a change, but they have to, they say they need to find motivation to do it first. You know, like I know that I want to lose weight. I'm trying to find the motivation. And it's baffling to me. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg, right? Which came first? I don't know. But in terms of motivation, much like the power plant analogy, is what do we do with that? And how long are we willing to wait? So we're trying to wait to find motivation. I don't know what that means, but can we do things that will create motivation? I mean, which comes first? In my opinion, I really believe that actions that we have will create the motivation. Like things that we do will give us the feeling of motivation or whatever you want to call it. But wanting to keep going, wanting to do these things that promote weight loss, things like that. And we have to act in order to have these feelings. And it just goes along with everything that we do. I mean, energy, motivation, purpose. Hey, a big one, love. Hey, how many times do we hear of couples getting divorced and things like that fall out of love? And then is love a feeling? Or is love like a lot of these other words that they're actually actions? Like you are getting actions that will promote these feelings, because every single time, every one of these feelings, actions precede the emotion. All right? So when we fall out of love, what does that mean? Well, you fall out of love when you stop opening doors for your spouse or significant other, whatever you want to call it. You fall out of love when you stop hugging them. You fall out of love when you stop communicating with them. I mean, we don't just fall out of love, because love is an action. And if we are doing these actions that promote the emotion, then you don't fall out of love. You simply place those focuses somewhere else. Whether it's in something else or someone else, the point is you're not doing those actions that promote the emotion. And hey, I'm in this too. Like, obviously everything that I talk about, this is not one thing have I talked about that's like something that I got taken care of, that is not an issue for me, that I don't struggle with, or whatever the case is. Like, this is exactly what I have to do. Have I ever been close to falling out of love with my wife? Like, no, absolutely not. But that doesn't mean that I don't have to pay attention to these things. That if I continue to not do, like not open doors or whatever, then I will end up affecting my marriage in one way or another. So I have to know that we don't just fall out of love. Again, all of these things are knowing. Knowing is the first big hurdle in this battle. If we know these things, then we know what to do to correct it, to make sure that things like that don't happen. And to understand that, obviously we're in a commitment, this commitment of marriage. Like I always remember the commitment I made on the altar, and I don't take that lightly. So we do everything that we can to make sure that we promote a good environment for ourselves, but also our children. I got 2 girls. I've told you guys a lot of times before that having 2 girls scared the crap out of me, because I knew the responsibility that I was going to have was going to be huge. So in our marriage, I need to make sure that I'm treating my wife to the same degree that I want my daughters to be looking to be treated when they get married. When they meet their spouse, I want to make sure that that's what they expect out of them. And if I'm not, then I could be ruining marriage for my daughters. We only get one shot, Like, have we ever thought of things like that? That the consequences of our actions right now could ruin something extremely important for those around us. Could ruin it. And largely in part because of us. We have that responsibility. And if we entered into all these things, and every day, really, understanding that, hey, in the back of our minds, like we always know that what we're doing greatly impacts those around us, greatly impacts our spouse, greatly impacts our kids. So that's been a big one to me, and for some reason, it was just in my head today, just creating these emotions, creating these feelings. We have the ability. We create them all, whether positive or negative. Wherever we spend all of our time, wherever we spend with our actions, that's going to promote whatever emotions come up. Like, we control that. So if you want energy, hey, do some things that will promote energy. You want motivation or drive or purpose or whatever, do some things that will promote that. You want love? Hey, do some actions that promote love, and not the love that all you guys are thinking about. The love that is there to create that bond with your wife, with your husband, significant other. Do those actions that promote that. So that's what I'm grateful for this morning. What are you grateful for? Hey, I really appreciate you watching. You're already here. Like the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, whatever you can do. That way we get these videos out to you whenever we release them. Hey, also give us some feedback. We want to see what we can do to get better for you. So leave us some feedback. Let us know how we can accomplish that. Thank you very much, and you have a grateful day.